The Indiana Fever's win over the Atlanta Dream in front of more than 17,000 fans. More than 17,000 fans came to that game in Atlanta last night. It was the largest WNBA game in Georgia history. Dream had a chance at the end, but missed a couple of threes that could have tied the game. So Indiana gets the win. It is their 14th win of the season. That is the most games that this team has won since 2016. To put that in context, Kelsey Mitchell, who has been balling for the Fever in their last few games, had 29 points last night. This is her 7th professional season in Indiana. It is the first time that she has won 14 games in a season, and they still have 10 games to go. And back in 2016, they, I think, won 17, and it was a strictly 500-based season. But the way this Fever team is playing, we talked about it last week coming out of the Olympic break, they are clicking in a really fun way to watch. They almost let go of the rope last night against the Atlanta Dream. They had a much better first half than second half, but you have Caitlin Clark, who with 19 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds in the win. That is now a almost bad game for Caitlin Clark, which is indicative at the level of which she's playing, because with that game, it was her 21st game this season with at least 15 points and 5 assists, which is the most in a season in WNBA history. So yet another night of history making for Caitlin Clark. She tied the rookie record of threes made in a season. We're making stats.
Why is that?
Because it's a stat.
Why is that?
Because the numbers say so.
What? Come on, man. We don't have to dweeb it up like this. We don't have to nerd it up
We just talked about being nerds.
We don't have
this is what we do in the sports space.
No.
Oh, yes.
No. We've got to stop. We are getting to where this is what we do in the sports space. But it's baseball used to do this. Baseball still does this. I don't need to view other sports the way that baseball analytics view baseball. That takes away from some of the enjoyment. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal basketball player. It's exciting and exhilarating to sit down and watch her. 15 and 5 is not a stat worth talking to me about. Don't say it to me. Why the hell I care about 15 and 5? Get that out of here. No.
I think it speaks for the consistency at which she's playing. So 21 games, 15 and 5 at the minimum, and she has had many without. She also moved into the top 10 of WNBA scoring. Again, she's a rookie. And when we had this discussion last week, we went into the notion of how long would it take for her to feel comfortable, to look comfortable. She is there. And that came last night after early in the game, she rolled her ankle, had every television executive very fearful as she laid down there holding her ankle. She had me sitting on the couch like, oh no, her Achilles. You know how I'm going to respond every time someone holds that leg, Kevin Durant style. Oh no, her Achilles. She was fine. She came back to the game. She talked about it afterwards. She said that the replay of it made her look soft, but you don't play basketball if you've never had an ankle injury. She came back into the game. It was funny listening to her talk about it after the fact. So you had that little scare, but she was good. She came back, and to have 14 games at this point, this season, 14 wins for the Fever, they are definitely on pace. By no means have they locked up a spot in the playoffs, but if they continue to play at this rate, it looks as if they will be able to make the playoffs in her rookie season, which is awesome.
3-1 since the Olympic break, right? Yeah, like this is a team that is playing real well right now, and you compare that and contrast that to what they were at the start of the season. It's phenomenal to see the not just the continued growth of Caitlin Clark, but the growth of the team as a whole. Mitchell, Boston at the forefront of that, right? Like it is, Caitlin Clark is going to put so much pressure on your defense because of what she can do shooting the ball and how she can finish at the rim, that it pulls extra defenders to her. That it just has to. That's just how it has to be. To have a Mitchell out there who, and we saw it some early when they were losing games. Like, oh, I don't know about everybody else, but this Mitchell chick can shoot.
Yeah.
And to see her continue to be able to do that and continue to be able to finish open looks and contested looks, oh, that just adds an added dimension of difficulty to what this offense is. And I think, again, Aliyah Boston's ability to make the next pass, to be a pressure relief valve, one, and then to make the right decision when she gets the ball, two. Make herself available to Caitlin Clark off of the double off of the screen, and then make the next pass out of that, which leads to either an outright assist oftentimes or a hockey assist for Aliyah Boston. I think that is huge as well. Another year of this, and we might be talking about this Fever team because of those three as legit contenders in the W, like as soon as next year, which is wild when you sit down to think about the fact that their two best players are in their first and second season.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Dantas off the bench had a couple nice threes last night. Was impressed with that. They've also got that Temi Fegbenle back, who played early in the season, was injured, came back. She is the one who smoked a couple layups last night for the Fever. I do appreciate a player who has an excellent sense of humor and can laugh at herself. And she posted after the game a picture of her and Caitlin Clark where she's like coming in for a hug for Caitlin Clark, and she's like, "Hey, old buddy, old chum, bring it in. Mood after smoking both layups after 2 great Caitlin Clark passes. A win's a win, but it seems like I was doing all I could to prevent that tonight. Onwards and upwards." I was like, yes, just own it. Own it when you miss Everyone's missed a layup. We were talking about it in the pre-show. It happens to the best of us. But you see somebody who still has to like acclimate oneself to catching some of those Caitlin Clark passes because they're so fast. They have so much zip on them. And when you're in transition, you just have to be able to have the soft finish coming off of it.
And expect it.
Yeah.
The way that Caitlin Clark is passing the balls is not only a surprise for the defense, it's also a surprise for you as the player receiving the hoop, the ball, as you're running towards the hoop. Because you're not expecting those types of passes. I think it happened a bit, not comparing the two, but I got Magic on the brain. I think it happened a bit with Magic, where sometimes Magic would throw dudes the ball and it's like, wait a second, why is this here right now? I'm just kind of going through the motions. I wasn't expecting it or prepared for it. Like when you have a player like a Caitlin Clark who has that type of court vision and that type of precision when she passes the ball, you're open all the time. So if you're running towards the rim, you need to run towards the rim with the thought, I'm going to catch this ball right, left, or left, right, up, finish it.
Yeah.
Because she's going to get it to you if you're open. If you're by this much, she can throw into the tightest of windows. Caitlin Clark, thinking about tight window passers, might be a top 10 tight window passer right now in sports. She's better than most of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting down and watching a Fever game, that is one of the most fun pieces of it, is watching Caitlin Clark pass the ball. Like, sure, it's fun to watch her pull up from a logo 3, and last night she had a situation where she missed one logo 3, switches to the opposite side, gets the pass off the rebound. One of her teammates rebounded it, passes back out to her, and she fires back from the opposite side of the logo. Like, who else are you confident taking back-to-back logo 3s right now? Caitlin Clark is one of the only people on the women's side of the game. Obviously, you always think of, like, I would have Steph take 5 logo 3s if he wanted to and probably wouldn't blink that much.
Is there anybody else in basketball?
That's what I was trying to think.
Trae Young? Trigger Trae?
No. I would think it's a curious case study because, like, every time Peyton Pritchard came in for a hot moment in the playoffs, he would just fire off a super deep 3 and he made it, but it wasn't the consistency.
That's a half-court shot.
I know.
That wasn't a 3. That's a half-court.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
completely
heave.
different. That's a completely different shot. Shay?
I almost think Desmond Bain, but I am definitely a prisoner of sitting right here in this
Dame
building.
Dollar?
It's so strange
Right
how
now,
the perception of Dame. Exactly, not right now.
Not now.
Tomorrow.
So-
I have to see it catch back up.
Is it only 2 people in basketball
It might
right now
be-
that you're okay with taking?
Taking back-to-back logo 3s, Steph
it's
Curry and
Steph
Caitlin
and
Clark.
Caitlin.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.